Hey guys, Red Gaijin here. Good morning to you all. So today I'm picking the topic of drugs in Japan. Now, I guess I'll start from something that I think a lot of people have heard, and I've believed this, although I've never actually had my facts checked. And that is whether you are caught with a little bit of marijuana or a truckload of cocaine. There is this bit of information that's been around for years, and I don't know exactly how accurate it is. But most people I know believe that no matter how much and what type of drug it is, as long as it's illegal, the jail term or the punishment is the same in Japan. So And I think how this sort of came to light was a few cases of foreigners being caught with non-commercial amounts of marijuana. So obviously they weren't selling it, just they'd obviously just bought some for their own use, and they were sort of given the same punishment. I think it was a certain amount of time in jail as somebody who had been caught with a much larger amount of a more serious drug. So if anyone knows if that is wrong, please let me know in the comments. But anyway, this is what I sort of I bet it's not exactly right, but basically they're tough on drugs and they don't care. They don't really analyze how serious one drug is compared to another in terms of breaking the law. So that's one interesting thing about drugs in Japan. If you're a young male foreigner who sort of goes out to drink on a weekly basis in Japan, it's more than in a large city, so or at least in a city that has a lot of sort of drinking and nightlife establishments. I think it's fair to say you're more than likely to come across someone who is offering or who has access to drugs, to usually marijuana, sometimes ecstasy and other things, and I think there's 2 points here. The first one is by no means are drugs as readily available or as easy to find in mainstream society in Japan as compared to places like Australia and the US and the UK. But I believe the concentration amongst the foreigner community is much higher, so you're much more likely to come across somebody trying to sell you drugs as a young foreigner, a young party goer in Japan, and I've experienced this both in Tokyo and Osaka. And it seems to be that certain groups in Tokyo, and I could be wrong, but I think Iranians, I think there are certain groups of Iranians in Tokyo that basically controlling the drug distribution. And I presume they've got links with either some form of organized crime, and they're basically just the distributing channel. But yeah, so I've been approached a few times by guys who I believe were Iranian in Tokyo. On one hand, it's not a good thing for the perception of foreigners because it's much easier to identify these guys who are sort of in the same way that hosts stand outside of bars. They're sort of strolling up and down streets and approaching guys who are either young out there looking Japanese or foreigners, basically people who they don't think would run off and tell the police, I think. It's not the best for the image. And on the flip side, I suppose if you were actually looking for drugs, it's probably not that hard to find just through the people you know and meet in the Gaijin and Gaijin hanger-on community. So there's that. The last thing I want to say is a personal a story. Before I start, I'm not incriminating myself here because everything I did was completely legal. Now, would you believe that up until a few years ago, it was actually legal to buy magic mushrooms which were available in certain retail outlets in Japan. So I'd heard about this, and I was curious. So me and this Jamaican buddy of mine, who was my main sort of partner in crime when it comes to going out clubbing and stuff, drinking. We'd heard about this and we go, it can't be true, let's go check it out. So we tracked down this shop, which is, you'll find these sort of herbal shops, and you can buy all sorts of things which look and smell drug related. So it's more sort of herb things which you can smoke. But within that shop, sort of on the back wall, there are these rows and rows of different things in little individual packets. And when you go closer, some of them are actually magic mushrooms. And so you've got magic mushrooms wrapped up commercially with a sticker on the packaging saying "Made in Amsterdam" and a price on it. So I go, you got to be kidding me. So I picked one up, went to the counter, and basically I was asked, do I want a receipt? So I go, yes. So I went to this shop and basically bought magic mushrooms, was given a receipt and a nice bag, and went home. So of course, the funny thing was that there was another sticker on the plastic, and it said, "Do not eat." So maybe that was what they were obliged to put on the packaging in order to get through some form of government loophole where they were able to sell these magic mushrooms, in a retail shop. So I thought that was pretty funny. So anyway, that's three little interesting things that I've come across in terms of the world of drugs in Japan. So what about you guys? Any funny or weird stories? Let me know in the comments. Alright, hope this was an interesting little tidbit for you. Alright, see you guys. Red Eye Gaijin.